25 goals in the past 6 games for Arsenal and just 7, I repeat, just 7 shots on target. This team is world class right now. The best performing team in the title race. They are keeping the pressure upon Liverpool and Manchester City. The set pieces are absolutely impeccable. The football is liquid gold. And what a response after performing so poorly against Porto midweek. The world and his dog watching, the overreaction really to what was a really poor game, what was a really poor way to lose, but the reaction to that, laying down the marker, continuing to score in such a free-flowing fashion, the fast-paced football, the relentlessness, the press of this Arsenal team all round. At this moment in time, the form they are in, this is a world-class Premier League team we are viewing here in Arsenal. Title contenders, as we've known they were going to be all season. They are now sitting there with the best goal difference in the league. They've got the best defense in the league, and they've closed that gap, as you can see. Yes, they sit in third, but there's very little difference between the teams, between Liverpool in first and Arsenal right now. We're going to the last 12 games of the campaign. We know this is going to be an absolutely amazing title race, but with City struggling right now, with City just about getting over the line, with Liverpool, a little scoring goals, but looking a little bit shaky when it comes to teams counter-attacking against them. I understand why Arsenal fans feel that they have a very, very strong chance indeed of winning this Premier League title. And I agree. I think they have a good chance that is growing each and every single week. But it was another breathtaking performance. As a neutral watching, what we're seeing now from Arsenal is everything I expected in the second half of this season. They're almost letting the leash off. They are putting every single ounce of energy they have into the game, pushing themselves to the limit, and demonstrating why for the past 2 years they've grown into a title contending team, demonstrating why they're so ferocious, so much fear from rivals when it comes to this side. And when you break down the individual performances today, my man of the match, I want to go straight to, I thought Jorginho, what did £12 million he cost Arsenal? An absolutely scintillating display in the middle. He was great against Liverpool, and I felt he should have maybe been used a little bit more in recent games, especially midweek against Porto, but he was outstanding. And he's ball from deep that broke the lines and set Martinelli off for the cutback for Kai Havertz's goal, the second for Arsenal. I almost felt that killed the tie off at that moment in time. And that pass was just majestic, cultured, so well timed, and the vision was absolutely brilliant. And what I liked in that goal was something we didn't see from the Arsenal players on Wednesday, was the wide players coming inside, almost giving the opponent something to think about. And Trippier was all at sea because do I go with my man? Do I stay here? What do I do? And that kind of variety to Arsenal's play gave them so much potency in their attack today. Of course, Saka, 7 goals in his last 5 Premier League games. He was criticised this season a lot, rightfully at many times, but this man is a world-class talent. There is no debate. There is no doubt about it in my mind. He's a world-class talent. Everybody has a different definition of world-class. He's now doing it. He's now starting to deliver in title races, and he's doing it against Man City and against Liverpool, 2 of the very best teams the Premier League has seen, that under Klopp and under Pep, respectively. And that's 7, as I say, in his last 5 games. His goal today was absolutely delicious, and it was another very good performance from him on that right-hand side. And I'm sure Gooners everywhere will be hoping the same from him and Martinelli in a few weeks' time when Porto come to the Emirates. Declan Rice, listen, always quality. Absolutely always quality, no matter what's going on. Every single game this season, I think he's been great. But his delivery from corners and set pieces, I don't think very many people thought he had that in his locker, but he does. And his ability to deliver great balls into the box is nothing short of sensational. And I know that we've had some debates on the terrace before where people think that crossing balls into the box or set pieces shouldn't really be stats, that it's spamming, it's Hollywood balls. This has and always will be utter nonsense. if you're good at crossing the ball, that should be nothing at any point that's taken away. That is an attribute. Crossing, corner taking ability. And if his deliveries were not so good, Arsenal wouldn't be scoring. I know they've scored a lot all season, but that's 19 goals now from set pieces. But Declan Rice's delivery is such an important part. You then add that into Declan Rice's overarching performances. What I keep saying it, £100+ million, he's cheap. He really is. Defensively again today, a masterclass from Arsenal. Yes, a consolation goal conceded at the end, which will be disappointing. But as I stated at the top, just 7 shots on target conceded in their last 5 games. I think it's 10 in their last 6. I want to make people understand how ridiculous that statistic is. And it's one of the reasons why that's the one area of Arsenal's game. The goals are now coming that I think they have an advantage in over Liverpool and City. It's the lack of opportunities they give their opponents in games. Now they're scoring more goals. I think that it's protruding even more how good this defensive setup that Mikel Arteta has created at Arsenal. And it's that defensive setup which I look at as to why I think they're a world-class team right now. The goals are just the sort of cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake, but it's that strength, that work out of possession, which is great, which brings me on to another player in today's game. And I paid homage and praised Lee Gunn of this a few weeks ago, and I never like to steal other people's thoughts as best I can. And he changed my mind about something a while back, that big games are not always big games just because it's Arsenal, Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, etc. Big games are sometimes decided by the situation. And you lose the way you did to Porto midweek. Liverpool win that same night and go 5 points ahead of you. City narrowly win their game in hand. City narrowly win a couple of hours before you kick off. And you find yourself 4 and 5 points off the top, up against a Newcastle team that you've had a little bit of elbow with this year. And Martin Odegaard again today stepped up. Some of his creativity, some of his passing, his ability to break the lines was majestic. The way he pirouettes on the ball, the way he glides, it's like he's on ice. It's like watching somebody ice skate at times. It's majestic. But what I really loved about Odegaard today was his off-the-ball work. The way he pressed, the way he won back possession. He was relentless in that. And it's another big game. And that's where, again, I don't want to steal Lee Gunner's thoughts. It's him that put that in my mind. He's right. And it's another big game now that Martin Odegaard has turned up and delivered. So whenever you get people say, when does Odegaard deliver? Just like last week, just like this week, you bookmark those games. Arsenal have been going up second or last when it comes to the 3 teams in the 3 main teams in the title race. And they've delivered, and they've delivered, and they've delivered. And I think that deserves nothing but praise. But overarching, as I say, it was a ridiculously good performance today from Arsenal, again in the league. Far cry from what we saw in the UCL earlier on in the week. And I'm sure when that second leg takes place at the Emirates Stadium, there'll be much more of what was demonstrated this evening. I want to get your views. I want to get your opinions in the comments section below. If you haven't hit the like button yet, why? Make sure you're giving that a smash for us. But I just want to end my sort of opening by saying this. Liverpool, we know, are fantastic. We absolutely know, and they're in this title race, they're top of the league, and they're almost my favourites. City are not playing well right now. They're leaking opportunities, but they have the wear and tear, the experience, the know-how, and world-class talent from their manager right through to their bench. You know they're going to be there until the end, and they're still marginally my favourites. But I believe the form of this Arsenal team right now puts them into a world-class category. I'm jealous as hell of how ridiculously good this Arsenal team are becoming, and I still don't think that you have found your top level yet. I still think this Arsenal team can get better with more experience, the manager gaining experience, and 2 or 3 more signings. Still, the difference between all 3 of these teams this season is crazy. But I do think right now, and I'm basing this on everything we've seen this season, plus the current form and trajectory, Arsenal are the best team in the league right now. On form, goals scored, lack of conceding. Now, they need, to a degree, some favours. They need some other teams to take points off City and Liverpool. They also, by the way, go away to the Etihad and can beat them there. So they need a little bit, like a minuscule amount of fortune to go their way. But if Arsenal keep this up, they have a tremendous chance of winning the league. But one thing's for sure, and this will irk rivals. The reason it doesn't irk me is because I've come to terms with it. And people can come at me with their ad hominem attacks all they want. And if you don't know what an ad hominem attack is, research it. You're going to attack me as opposed to the points I'm making because you have no argument. Arsenal fans will want to win the league, absolutely. But this Arsenal team is dangerous and it's scary and it is here to stay. They're not going anywhere after this season. They're going to be competing for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years minimum, in my humble opinion. What we're seeing from them right now is ridiculous. And another stat that got brought up by TNT Sports was this. They're the first team ever in top-flight English football history to score 2 goals per half for 7 consecutive halves of football. Now, that may not mean a lot to anybody, but just think about how many great teams have been in England from the 50s right through till now. And in 7 consecutive halves of football, no team's ever scored twice in each of those halves. It's a crazy statistic. And also winning 6-0, 5-0, 4-0 is as rare as rocking horse shit. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings below on another top-class performance from Arsenal. Going to go to the super chats that are coming through.